Welcome back. Today we explore some of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. Today, we're diving into the world of copper wheat pennies, coins that could potentially make you a millionaire. First up, the 1939 D. Lincoln wheat penny is a coin steeped in history. It was minted during a pivotal time in American history, the tail end of the Great Depression and just before the United States entered World War II. The Lincoln wheat penny, first introduced in 1909, was designed to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Victor David Brenner, a renowned sculptor, was commissioned to create the design, which features a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and two wheat stalks on the reverse, a design that earned the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. The 1939 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the three active U.S. mints, at the time the others being Philadelphia and San Francisco. The D mint mark, located below the date on the reverse side, indicates its Denver origin. This mint mark is a key factor in the coin's value, as Denver minted coins often have lower production numbers compared to Philadelphia. In 1939, the Denver Mint produced 15,160,000 Lincoln wheat pennies. While this might seem like a large number, many of these coins were heavily circulated, and others were lost or melted down over the years. As a result, finding a 1939 D penny in any condition is becoming increasingly difficult. What makes this coin even more intriguing is its condition. The specific coin we're discussing today is in a scratched and damaged state. While collectors typically seek out coins in pristine condition, certain damaged coins, especially those with historical significance or unique errors, can still command high prices. Now, let's talk numbers. In today's auction market, a 1939 D Lincoln wheat penny, in average circulated condition, might fetch between $6,000. However, the scratched and damaged coin we're focusing on is no ordinary penny. Despite its imperfections, this coin has been appraised at an astonishing $10,000 in recent auctions. Why is a damaged coin worth so much? The answer lies in its rarity, historical significance, and the story behind its scratches. Some collectors believe that the scratches on this particular coin were made intentionally, possibly as a form of protest or personal expression during the Great Depression. Others speculate that the scratches were caused by a mint error, such as a die clash or plancher defect. Regardless of the cause, these imperfections have turned an otherwise ordinary coin into a numismatic treasure. The scratched and damaged condition of this coin adds a layer of intrigue to its design. The scratches, which appear to be deliberate, run diagonally across Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks on the reverse. These marks have been carefully examined by experts who believe they were made shortly after the coin was minted. While the 1939 D Lincoln wheat penny is not known for major mint errors, there are a few varieties that collectors should be aware of. These include a rare variety where the obverse design appears slightly doubled due to a misaligned die during the minting process, a variety where the D mint mark was punched into the die more than once, creating a slightly overlapping effect. The scratched and damaged coin we're discussing today is not an error coin in the traditional sense, but its unique imperfections have made it a sought-after variety among collectors. The 1939 D Lincoln wheat penny has long been a favorite among coin collectors. Its historical significance, combined with its relatively low mintage, makes it a key date in the Lincoln wheat penny series. Collectors often seek out this coin to complete their sets, and those in higher grades can command significant premiums. The scratched and damaged coin we're highlighting today has sparked particular interest among collectors. Some view it as a piece of history, a tangible connection to the struggles and triumphs of the Great Depression era. Others are drawn to its unique story and the mystery surrounding its scratches. Whatever the reason, this coin has become a prized possession for those lucky enough to own it. Next up, to truly appreciate the 1945 D wheat penny, we need to travel back in time to the mid-1940s. The world was in the final throes of World War II, and the United States was fully engaged in the war effort. Resources like copper were in high demand for ammunition and military equipment. This led to a fascinating chapter in U.S. coinage history. In 1943, the U.S. Mint temporarily switched from using copper to zinc-coated steel for pennies to conserve copper for the war. However, by 1944, the mint returned to using copper, albeit with a twist. They recycled spent shell casings to create the alloy for pennies. This practice continued into 1945, making the 1945 D wheat penny part of a unique series of coins tied directly to the war effort. The D mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the 3 active U.S. mints at the time. Denver played a crucial role in producing coins during the war, and the 1945 D wheat penny is a tangible piece of that history. Now, let's talk numbers. In 1945, the Denver Mint produced a staggering 1,040,515,000 wheat pennies. That's over 1 billion coins. At first glance, that might make you think this coin is common, and in many ways, it is. But here's where things get interesting. While the 1945 D wheat penny is not rare in circulated condition, its value skyrockets in higher grades. However, even in lower grades or dirty condition, this coin can still command a premium, especially if it has unique characteristics or errors. For example, a 1945 D wheat penny in good condition might be worth around $15,000, but if it's in extremely fine condition, the value can jump to $18,000. Let's take a closer look at the design of the 1945 D wheat penny. This coin features the classic wheat penny design by Victor David Brenner, which was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. One of the things that makes the 1945 D wheat penny so special is its connection to the past. Every time you hold one of these coins, you're holding a piece of history. A coin that was minted during a pivotal moment in world history. Now, let's talk about errors and varieties, because this is where things can get really exciting for collectors. The 1945 D wheat penny is known for a few notable errors that can significantly increase its value. One of the most famous errors is the 1945 D double-die obverse. This occurs when the coin's design is stamped twice, slightly offset, creating a doubling effect on the lettering and date. If you find one of these, you could be looking at a coin worth thousands or even hundred thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. Another error to look for is the repunched mint mark. This happens when the mint mark is stamped more than once, resulting in a slightly blurred or overlapping D. While not as valuable as the double-die obverse, RPM coins can still fetch a nice premium. If you think you found a 1945 D wheat penny with an error, it's worth getting it certified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. This can significantly increase its value and make it more attractive to collectors. So why is the 1945 D wheat penny so popular among collectors? For starters, it's part of the iconic wheat penny series, which is one of the most collected series in U.S. coinage history. Many collectors aim to complete a set of wheat pennies, and the 1945 D is a key date in that series. In today's market, the value of a 1945 D wheat penny can vary widely depending on its condition and whether it has any errors. For example, a 1945 D wheat penny in good condition might sell for around certified coins, especially those with errors, can fetch even higher prices. For instance, a 1945 D double-die obverse in mint state condition could sell for $54,000 or more, depending on the grade and market demand. Even in dirty condition, the 1945 D wheat penny can still be valuable, especially if it has unique characteristics or errors. So don't overlook those old, worn-out coins. They could be hiding a treasure. If you're interested in collecting 1945 D wheat pennies, here are a few tips to keep in mind. First, always check the condition of the coin. Look for signs of wear, such as flattened details or scratches, as these can affect the value. Second, look for errors and varieties. As we discussed earlier, errors like the double-die obverse or repunched mint mark can significantly increase the value of a coin. Finally, consider getting your coins certified by a professional grading service. This not only verifies the authenticity of the coin, but also provides a clear grade, which can make it easier to sell or trade. Remember, coin collecting is all about patience and persistence. You never know when you might stumble upon a hidden gem. Next up, The 1939 Lincoln Wheat Penny, large date, no mint mark, in fine condition. This little piece of history might just be sitting in your pocket change or tucked away in an old coin album, so stick around to find out why this penny could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in today's auction market. First, let's take a closer look at this iconic coin. The 1939 Wheat Penny is part of the Lincoln Cent series, which was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features a portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse showcases two wheat stalks, giving the coin its famous Wheat Penny nickname. Now, what makes the 1939 Wheat Penny special? Well, this particular year has two varieties, the large date and the small date. Today, we're focusing on the large date version, which is slightly more common but still highly sought after by collectors. The absence of a mint mark means this coin was minted in Philadelphia, the main U.S. mint facility at the time. To understand the significance of this coin, let's take a step back in time. The year 1939 was a pivotal moment in history. The world was on the brink of World War II, and the United States was still recovering from the Great Depression. Despite these challenges, the U.S. Mint produced over 316 million Lincoln Wheat Pennies that year. However, not all of these coins survived in good condition, which is why finding one in fine condition or better is such a big deal. Now, let's talk about the condition of this coin. Coin grading is crucial when determining value. A coin in fine condition shows moderate wear but still retains most of its design details. For the 1939 Wheat Penny, this means Lincoln's cheekbone and the wheat stalks on the reverse should be clearly visible, even if there's some flattening of the high points. See the difference? A well-preserved coin like this one can command a much higher price than a heavily circulated one. So, what's the 1939 Wheat Penny, large date, no mint mark, in fine condition worth today? Well, according to recent auction data and price guides, this coin can fetch anywhere from $38,000 in lower grades. But in fine condition, its value jumps significantly. Depending on the market demand and the coin's eye appeal, you could be looking at a value of $40,000 or more. Over the past decade, the value of the 1939 Wheat Penny has steadily increased, thanks to its historical significance and growing interest in coin collecting. Rare varieties and error coins from this year can sell for even higher prices, but even a standard issue in fine condition is a valuable addition to any collection. Before we wrap up, here are a few tips for identifying and preserving your 1939 Wheat Penny. First, check the date and mint mark, or lack thereof. Remember, we're looking for the large date variety with no mint mark. Second, handle your coins carefully. Always hold them by the edges to avoid damaging the surfaces. And finally, store your coins in a protective holder or album to keep them safe from environmental damage. Next up, the 1920 Lincoln Wheat Cent without a mint mark. This coin has captured the interest of collectors worldwide due to its historical significance, unique design, and astonishing auction values. Stick around as we explore every detail, from its origins to its place in today's numismatic market. To truly appreciate the 1920 Lincoln Wheat Cent, we must first travel back in time to the early 20th century. The year was 1920, an era of great transformation in America. World War I had just ended in 1918, and the United States was experiencing an economic boom known as the Roaring Twenties. The demand for consumer goods was on the rise, industries were flourishing, and a sense of optimism filled the air. During this period, the U.S. Mint continued producing the Lincoln Wheat Cent, a design introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than Lady Liberty. By 1920, the Lincoln Cent was firmly established as a staple of American commerce, making its way into the hands of millions. The 1920 Lincoln Wheat Cent was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coin we are focusing on today, however, is the one without a mint mark, which was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Philadelphia, being the primary minting facility, produced a staggering 310,165,000 Lincoln cents in 1920. While this might seem like a large number, keep in mind that many of these coins have since been lost, damaged, or heavily worn. Finding one in fine condition or better is becoming increasingly difficult. Let's take a closer look at the design elements of this historic coin. On the obverse, we see the iconic right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner. Above his head, we find the inscription, "In God We Trust," a phrase that remains a cornerstone of U.S. currency to this day. To Lincoln's left, the word liberty is prominently displayed, while the date 1920 sits just below. Flipping the coin over, we're greeted by the classic wheat ears design that gives this series its name. The two wheat stalks, one on each side, symbolize prosperity and agricultural success in the United States. Between them, we see the denomination 1 cent and the country's name United States of America. Just above, the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, translates to out of many, one representing the unity of the nation. For collectors, errors and varieties can make a coin significantly more valuable. The 1920 Lincoln wheat cent has several notable error varieties, which include some 1920 wheat cents were struck off-center due to misalignment of the dies. Depending on the degree of misalignment, these coins can be worth hundreds of dollars. Die cracks and cuds. Over time, the dies used to strike the coins can develop cracks, resulting in raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the coin's surface. These imperfections can add significant value, especially if they are prominent. This variety occurs when the coin's design elements appear doubled due to misalignment during the striking process. A clear double die, obverse on a 1920 Lincoln cent can fetch a premium among collectors. Sometimes debris or grease can clog the coin. Dies, leading to weak or missing details. While not as dramatic as other errors, these anomalies can still be desirable to collectors. Now let's talk about the most exciting part: the market value of the 1920 Lincoln wheat cent. Prices for this coin can vary greatly depending on its condition. A well-circulated example in fine condition can fetch anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000, while a higher-grade specimen with minimal wear can be worth $5,000. However, the real showstoppers are the uncirculated and mint state versions. A 1920 Lincoln wheat cent, graded MS65 by PCGS or NGC, can sell for $7,000. And for those lucky enough to find a pristine MS67 example, you're looking at an auction price of over $10,000. In fact, one of the highest recorded sales of a 1920 Lincoln cent in near-perfect condition reached an astonishing $15,600 at auction. This just goes to show how desirable this coin remains among collectors and investors alike. The 1920 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark is a coin that continues to intrigue and excite numismatists. Its rich history, beautiful design, and potential for rare error varieties make it a must-have for any serious collector. Whether you own one in circulated condition or are on the hunt for a high-grade specimen, this coin represents an important chapter in American numismatics. If you have a 1920 Lincoln wheat cent in your possession, take a close look. You never know. You might be holding a small fortune in your hands. Next up, the 1942 wheat penny, specifically the one without a mint mark, in very fine condition. What's it worth? Why is it so special? Let's break it all down. First, let's take a closer look at this iconic coin. The 1942 wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln wheat cent, features the beloved design by Victor David Brenner. On the obverse, you've got President Abraham Lincoln's profile, with the words, "In God We Trust," Liberty, and the year 1942. Flip it over, and you'll see the two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design was used from 1909 to 1958, making it a staple in American coinage. Now, what makes this particular 1942 wheat penny special? First, it has no mint mark. That means it was minted in Philadelphia, the main U.S. mint facility. Coins from Philadelphia. During this era typically didn't carry a mint mark, Unless they were minted in Denver or San Francisco second, this coin is in very fine condition. That means it's seen some circulation but still retains sharp details. You can clearly see Lincoln's hair, the wheat stalks, and most of the lettering. Let's take a quick trip back to 1942. The United States was in the midst of World War II. War II and resources like copper were in high demand for the war effort. In fact, by 1943, the U.S. Mint switched to making pennies out of steel to conserve copper. But in 1942, pennies were still made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving them that classic reddish-brown hue. This makes the 1942 wheat penny not only historically significant, but also a favorite among collectors. Now, let's get to the big question. What's this coin worth in today's auction market? For a 1942 wheat penny with no mint mark in very fine condition, the value can vary depending on factors like demand, rarity, and overall eye appeal. According to recent auction data and price guides, a 1942 wheat penny in very fine condition typically sells for $23,000 in circulated grades. However, if the coin has exceptional eye appeal or is part of a highly sought-after collection, it could fetch a bit more. To put this into perspective, let's compare it to other wheat pennies. For example, a 1909 SVDB wheat penny in very fine condition can sell for thousands of dollars because of its rarity. The 1942 wheat penny, while not as rare, is still a valuable piece of history, especially for collectors building a complete set of Lincoln cents. So, if you've got a 1942 wheat penny lying around, how can you tell if it's worth more than face value? First, check the condition. Is it heavily worn, or does it still have sharp details? Second, look for any mint marks. Remember, no mint mark means it's from Philadelphia. And finally, consider getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Grading can significantly increase its value, especially if it's in better than average conditions. Next up, the 1952 Abraham Lincoln. Wheat penny is a fascinating piece of American numismatic history. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the wheat penny series, officially known as the Lincoln Cent, was designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse features a portrait of the 16th U.S. president, while the reverse showcases two stalks of wheat, symbolizing prosperity and agricultural abundance. By 1952, the United States was in the midst of post-World War II economic growth. The Korean War was ongoing, and the nation was transitioning into a period of technological advancement and cultural change. Coins from this era, including the 1952 wheat penny, reflect the resilience and optimism of the American people. The 1952 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, the Philadelphia minted coins like the one we're discussing today did not carry a mint mark, making them distinct from their Denver and San Francisco counterparts. The value of a 1952 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark can vary significantly depending on its condition. In circulated grades, this coin is relatively common and may fetch between 0.15 to 1. However, in uncirculated or mint state condition, its value skyrockets. For example, a 1952 wheat penny in MS65 LA near-perfect grade with minimal marks and strong luster can sell for $6,500. But the real treasure lies in coins with unique characteristics, such as those with color changes, errors, or exceptional eye appeal. One such example is the 1952 wheat penny with a red color tone. These coins, when preserved in their original copper-red hue, are highly desirable. In today's auction market, a 1952 red penny in MS67 or higher can command prices ranging from $7,500. However, coins with scratches, damage, or environmental wear like the one we're focusing on today still hold significant value, especially if they exhibit unique toning or historical significance. The 1952 Lincoln wheat penny had a substantial mintage with over 186 million coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint alone. This high mintage makes the coin relatively common in lower grades. However, finding one in pristine condition, especially with its original red color, is a challenge. The Denver Mint produced approximately 746 million coins, while the San Francisco Mint struck around 137 million. These mint marks D and SM add another layer of collectability, but the Philadelphia issue remains a favorite due to its no mint mark simplicity. While the 1952 wheat penny is not known for major errors, there are a few notable varieties that collectors seek. Some 1952 pennies exhibit doubling in the obverse design, particularly in the inscriptions and date. These coins are highly prized and can fetch significant premiums. For coins minted in Denver and San Francisco, repunched mint marks are a common variety. These occur when the mint mark is stamped more than once, creating a slightly blurred or overlapping effect. Occasionally, 1952 pennies were struck off-center, resulting in a partially missing design. These errors are rare and highly collectible. The 1952 Lincoln wheat penny holds a special place in the hearts of collectors for several reasons. First, it represents the tail end of the wheat penny series, which was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. This makes it a key date for collectors completing a wheat penny set. Second, the coin's historical context and connection to Abraham Lincoln add to its appeal. Lincoln is one of the most revered figures in American history, and coins bearing his likeness are always in demand. Finally, the 1952 wheat penny's affordability in lower grades makes it accessible to new collectors, while its potential for high value in uncirculated or error conditions keeps seasoned collectors engaged. So there you have it, the 1952 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark. From its historical significance to its stunning design and collector appeal, this coin is a true gem in the world of numismatics. Whether you're lucky enough to own one or are on the hunt for your first, the 1952 wheat penny is a piece of history worth cherishing. Next up, the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny is a piece of American history that takes us back to the post-World War II era. This coin was minted during a time of rebuilding and optimism in the United States. The war had ended in 1945, and the country was transitioning from a wartime economy to a peacetime one. The Lincoln wheat penny, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, had already become a staple in American pocket change by the 1940s. The 1946 penny, in particular, holds a special place in numismatic history. It was one of the first coins produced after the war, and its production marked a return to normalcy for the U.S. Mint. The D mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the three active mints, at the time the others being Philadelphia and San Francisco. Now, let's talk numbers. The value of a 1946 Lincoln wheat penny can vary significantly depending on its condition, rarity, and specific attributes. In today's auction market, a 1946D Lincoln wheat penny in good condition can fetch anywhere from $20,000. However, if you're lucky enough to have one in mint state condition, the value can skyrocket to $26,500 or more. But here's where it gets interesting. The 1946D penny is known for its large date and small date varieties. The large date variety is more common, but the small date is significantly rarer and can command a premium. For example, a 1946D small date penny in mint state, 65 condition, has been known to sell for $29,300 or more at auction. The Denver Mint produced a total of 315,690,000 Lincoln wheat pennies in 1946. While this might seem like a large number, many of these coins were circulated extensively, making high-grade examples relatively rare. The large date variety is more common than the small date, but both are highly collectible. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny features the classic design by Victor David Brenner, which has remained largely unchanged since its introduction in 1909. The obverse of the coin depicts a profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right. The inscriptions include: one of the key design elements to look for in the 1946 D penny is the size of the date. The large date variety has a more prominent and evenly spaced date, while the small date variety has a smaller, more compact date. This subtle difference can have a significant impact on the coin's value. Error coins are always a hot topic among collectors, and the 1946 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny is no exception. Some of the most notable errors and varieties include: this error occurs when the coin's design is stamped twice, resulting in a slightly blurred or doubled appearance. A 1946 DDDO penny can be worth $500 or more, depending on its condition. This occurs when the mint mark is stamped more than once, causing it to appear slightly offset or doubled. RPM varieties are highly sought after by collectors. These occur when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in an off-center design. Off-center strikes are rare and can command a premium. The 1946 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny is a favorite among collectors for several reasons. First, it's part of the iconic Lincoln Wheat series, which is one of the most collected coin series in U.S. history. Second, the 1946 D penny represents a unique moment in American history, making it a tangible piece of the past. Collectors often seek out high-grade examples of this coin, particularly those with full red mint luster. Coins that have retained their original copper color and shine are especially valuable. Additionally, the large date and small date varieties add an extra layer of intrigue for collectors who enjoy hunting for rare and unique pieces. And there you have it, the 1946 Lincoln Wheat penny with the large date and D mint mark. From its historical significance to its design features and market value, this coin is a true gem in the world of numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the 1946 D penny is a must-have for any collection. Until next time, keep searching for those hidden treasures.